Hi, happy Friday. It's Ari. Thank you so much for being on. So today I'm just going to review some of the COVID-19 relief options that are available for small business owners. And just so that you know, this is just a disclaimer here. This is friend to friend. This is just from what I've compiled. So I recommend that you consult with your legal, financial, and tax advisor. This is neither legal advice or financial advice or tax advice. This is simply friend to friend, just because I like to read and stay abreast of things. So hopefully this will compile things for you in an easier way. And I'm going to do a share. At the end of this broadcast, I will post all the links that I used on my YouTube channel right underneath the video. So that should probably be up within 30 minutes after the broadcast ends, just so you know. So if you're looking at something like, how do I get that link or how do I find that? It'll be there for you. Once again, I just want to say that this is friend to friend. This is not financial advice, tax advice, or legal advice. This is just what piled. Okay, so I hope that that is helpful to you guys. All right. This is also for small business owners, independent contractors, gig economy workers, small business owners up to 500 employees. That's what we're focusing on here. And of course, that means that this is like a mainstream of income for you. Okay, so if you're an employee and you have a side business, that would be different. I just want you guys to know your main income comes through this small business. Okay, that's really important for you to know what is going on. So if you and I know a large portion of the audience is Mary Kay. So if you're a Mary Kay beauty consultant and that is not your full time, go get some advice to see if this is applicable for you, but it's geared for full-time business owners more than anything. So I'm going to be doing a screen share most of the time. So sometimes it'll look like this, or sometimes it'll look like that. I'm going to try to make it as big as possible so that you can see. So you're going to want to be on a screen that you can access to be able to see what's going on here. Okay, that'll be kind of important, I think. All right. So I'm going to maximize this a little bit better so you can see better. And the other thing is that you'll be able to follow with this really cool cursor that I got, which is in pink. Okay, so reminder, this webinar is from friend to friend. All right, there's 3 programs that I'm going to cover. The Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program, that is something that's always been around when there is economic disaster, but because of course our president declared that we are in a national state of emergency, every business owner is eligible for this. And it was set up by the Treasury and it'll be processed through the Small Business Association. Okay, any application that was submitted prior to the president stating this, that application was pre-submitted. So this is a disaster loan application, and I'll cover that. Then there's the Paycheck Protection Program, and most business owners are being steered towards this direction because they want to protect your paycheck, whatever that paycheck looks like. So there will be a worksheet that I'm going to cover, and then the economic injury disaster loan that I mentioned here, number 1, is giving an advancement of up to $10,000, and there's a direct link for that, and then there's a phone number. Okay, if you want to apply for that disaster loan assistance application link, that $10,000 in advance, you can apply for it. And I'm going to talk about all the terms, the difference between the two, what is important about one versus the other. So I'm going to be sharing all of that in the next few pages. But I did find a really cool website that I thought, oh, this is awesome, that I was really happy about because it really easily explained the difference between these 2 programs, because number 3 option was really inside of number 1. Okay, so I'm pretty sure this is it. Let me make sure I'm doing the right page share. There it is. Okay, so who is the lender from one program versus the other? The lender here is the Small Business Association. Underneath the Paycheck Protection Program, the lender is a bank, and they're writing small business loans underwritten by the Small Business Association. So for the PPP, you apply through your bank, and for this loan, you apply directly with the Small Business Association. What is the maximum amount of the loan? With this one, the maximum amount of the loan is $2 million. And applicants who apply for this loan can request that $10,000 advancement. The advance will not be distributed within 3 days. Applicants are not required to repay this advance if they are subsequently denied a loan. Okay, so it's just, straight up cash. All right, let me talk about the maximum loan over here. The maximum loan is $10 million. And it'll take your average monthly payroll cost. So let's just pretend as an independent contractor, I submit that my average income last year was $60,000 in commissions, okay? So that's $5,000 a month. It'll take the average of $5,000 and multiply it by 2.5 times, okay? So if you do the math on that $5,000, at 2.5 times, I'm going to get a maximum of $12,500. Okay. And I can use this for very particular things. Okay. If you took the loan mentioned here on the left, okay, between February 15th and June 30th, and you want to refinance that loan into the PPP loan. So then I did this one and then I did this one. I can finance this into this. You would add the outstanding loan amount to the payroll sum. So then they'll sum this with this. Why is that important? Something I haven't mentioned yet. I'll get to it later on. This PPP program is not going to be available for independent contractors until April 10th. It is currently available as of today for people who have already had loans in the past with the SBA. So this is available right now. You can apply now, and then you can apply for this. And if you get approved, they'll roll this amount into this amount. Okay. All right. Something else about this. What can you use the money for? It can be used. What is included in payroll? It includes your salaries, your commissions, your tips, employee benefits such as health insurance and retirement benefits, state and local taxes, and certain type of compensation to sole proprietors or independent contractors. Payroll costs specifically exclude compensation of an individual employee in excess of $100,000. So what does that mean? If I made $120,000, I would only be able to use $100,000 as my for this calculation. Okay, so there is a maximum. What is the interest rate between one and the other? This interest rate is 3.75 for businesses and 2.75 for nonprofits. This one, they said it could be anywhere between 0 and 4%. It cannot exceed 4. The term of the loan, this one is 30 years. This one is 10 years. When is your first payment due? After 1 year from the loan being issued. And this one is 6 months after the loan being issued. So if the loan is issued May 1st, you have 6 months before your first payment is due. You have 10 years to pay it off, and the interest rate would not exceed 4%. What can the loan be used for? And there is a difference between one and the other. For this loan, it can only be used for payroll cost, commissions, tips, all of that, group healthcare benefits. So if you have an individual plan that's not covered, insurance premiums, and interest, but not the principal, on mortgages or other debt incurred prior to February. So if you have business debt, the interest, you can use it for this, okay? Rent on any lease enforced prior to February 15th. Some of you have beauty studios that you pay rent on. You have a name signed to a lease. It could be used for that. And the utility payments on that beauty studio would be eligible for this, okay? Over here, what could the loan be used for? Financial obligations and operating expenses that could have been met had the disaster not occurred. So basically, under this loan program, it's anything that your business would have covered. This one is specifically payroll, mortgage or rent, and utilities for those facilities. So you see the difference between one and the other. Okay. What is the collateral required? There's no collateral required. Okay. No collateral is required. And here the SBA will pay a UCC lien against the assets of the business. So if your business has assets, a lien will be in hold until it's been paid back. Is a personal guarantee required? No, it is not. And here, yes, for loans that are more than $200,000 and the owner doesn't have more than 20% of the membership of the company. Okay. Is there a loan forgiveness program? No, you will have to pay this loan back. The PPP, yes, this is so important. Yes, it is forgiven. Calculated as the amount spent by borrowers during an 8-week period after the origination cost. That means within your first 8 weeks, you must spend the money on any interest payments for the mortgage of your business. Okay. For the rents on your business, the leases that have been enforced for your business, the payment of utilities for services, and payroll costs are subject to the same exclusions as noted above. So payroll, as mentioned prior, is all commissions. So this is forgiven as long as within 8 weeks you use the monies from the loan for these things stated. There's no forgiveness with this loan, okay? What reduces the forgiveness, okay? The amount forgiven is reduced based on the failure to maintain the average number of full-time equivalent employees. So really, I just want you guys to know that anybody who has laid off employees is not eligible for this, or the amount of forgiveness will be reduced. The amount, they're going to get the loan, but they won't have it forgiven. If they've docked employee pay, like some people said, my pay got docked 50%. Also, that will not be forgiven. They have to keep their employees on full time, okay? Do I need to file my 2019 taxes? It depends on who your lender is. I'm going to talk about where you can get these loans. And no, you do not for this one. How long will the application take? On this one, it's 2 to 3 weeks, and this one is unknown, okay? Can I apply now? Yes, like I mentioned earlier, I will give you the link to apply for this loan now. And this one, as at the time that this was printed, the answer was no, but as of today, the answer is yes. They've started receiving applications, okay? So this link I'll also put because I found it to be very, very useful. I thought it was really educational, and I'm hoping that it answers some questions. So this is the difference between one loan and the other. I did compile some notes that I want to share with you that I think will be helpful for you, that answers more questions about the PPP loan specifically, because I think you're looking at it going, I think PPP might be for me. If you're in a similar business to myself, that's what I'm thinking as well too, okay? So I'm going to do a screen share here, and if you take a look, let me start at the top, and I'm trying to see if there's any questions so far, but I might, if we have time at the end, I'll answer these questions. Okay, so I already talked about the 3 programs. Here we go. That's the loan for the disaster relief loan, and I'll put that link out there too. Okay, this has nothing to do with the stimulus checks that are coming in our direction, by the way. This is a third form of monies coming to you. The stimulus checks, depending on whether you qualify for couples and children, and this is probably what you've heard about the most. And if you pay directly to the government, this is going to be directly deposited into your account, okay? As long as they have your bank routing number and account number. All right, so let's talk about the Paycheck Protection Program. It's a small business association initiative to give you access to capital for payroll. Your commission is considered your payroll. So every time I say payroll, that's commission. It was established to provide immediate relief, and they're expecting more than 1,800 lenders. I will cover a list of lenders. Who is eligible if you have less than 500 employees. So if you have one, that counts. If you're self-employed, or if you're an independent contractor or 501(c)(3) companies. If you are an independent contractor or otherwise self-employed, you can start applying on April 10th. There it is, okay? I covered this, payroll, healthcare, rent, mortgage, interest, utilities. What are the rules and terms? Interest less than 4%, no more than 10 years. These terms may change because right now it's still a moving target. Minimum 6-month payment deferment. There's no collateral, and you don't have to give any guarantees. The loan is necessary due to the current circumstances in the market. You do have to prove that your loan is necessary due to the current circumstances in the marketplace, okay? And the origin of the loan and why is that important to you? The SBA loan program was created by the CARES Act, okay? That was just signed by Congress and by the president. It's designed to give small businesses access to quick capital. What is the potential for loan forgiveness? This is really important. Like I mentioned before, all may be forgiven or a part may be forgiven. The qualifying cost during your first 8 weeks after the loan is made, okay? You do have to use it within your first 8 weeks. Note, if you reduce your head costs for salaries, it may reduce your ability for forgiveness. While 100% of the loan may qualify forgiveness, the Treasury expects a lot of requests. you will have to provide documentation to support this loan. And I'm going to get to the end of when you should apply, because I'm going to say you want to apply as soon as you can. Okay. So it's forgiven as long as you use it for what you need to use it for. And one thing that I do want to share here, and let me just come off of that screen share so you guys can see me real quick. So let's say you want to use a portion of your loan for inventory. Just as an example, you totally can, but that part of the loan will not be forgiven. Okay. That part of the loan you will have to pay back within 10 years at up to 4% interest. Now, whatever part of the loan you use for commission specifically, that part will be forgiven as long as you do it within your first 8 weeks. So that's an important distinction, okay? Just to make sure that you got that part. Okay, so how to prepare to apply. You want to have the date your business started, detailed information to calculate your average monthly payroll cost. For example, in Mary Kay, I went to the income advisory statement for 2019. I took the total amount and I divided by 12. That is my average monthly payroll cost. That's pretty simple. Annual revenues for my business, those two are exactly the same in my business, and my business mailing address and certain business records. Okay, where to apply? Here you go. You apply through SBA lenders, not the SBA website. How did I find these lenders? I Googled banks accepting PPP applications, and look at the list I found. I'm going to go kind of slow so you can all read them. Okay. Look at the list. Okay. Bank of America is the first major bank to start accepting applications for PPP loans today. But right now, they're only looking at loans for people who have already done a small business association loan in the past, which chances are you probably haven't. So they're starting with those people first because they're already in the system. Bank United is beginning to collect documentation. They're not there yet. I know Chase hasn't made an announcement yet. I'll get to Chase in just a second. So this, I just Googled and I found this. So if you want an updated list, just Google banks accepting PPP loans. I will tell you, I went right to the Chase website and I found, if you go to chase.com/cares, their updates are going there. So almost every bank on their homepage has updates about what is available to you. And that would be my recommendation. Wherever your business loan is, wherever your business bank account is, that would be the bank that would probably be the simplest to use because you have direct payment into that bank, okay? And if you don't, look how long this list is, you guys. Okay, so I'm just JP Morgan. I'm just scrolling to get to the next part here. Okay, so there's a lot of banks on here. A lot of banks. Okay, I'm almost getting to the end here. Not just of the list of banks of the broadcast so that you guys can ask questions. Okay. Other details. The maximum loan amount is 2.5 times your average monthly payroll cost. Like I said before, if my payroll was averaged at $5,000 a month, I can get $12,500 a month for the loan, maximum loan. Okay. For the most monthly payroll based on average payroll. Oh, I already said that. If you were not in business before January 2020, okay, you're going to use the first 2 months in business. Like you use January and February. If you were not in business before February 15th, you are not eligible for any of this. What does payroll include? Salaries, wages, commissions, healthcare benefits, retirement benefits. The maximum is $100,000. How the program is funded and why it's important to you. They have set aside $349 billion. Apply now while the money is available. Okay. Program requirements and specifics may change. If you bank at Chase, this is where you can get the most up-to-date stuff. Frequently asked questions. I own 2 businesses. Is each eligible? Yes, it is. Can I apply for PPP and this loan? When I created this, they were awaiting guidance if you can apply for both. But since then, I found that you can, and they plan to roll this into this afterwards because these are available now and these are not. Okay. And here's some links. This is a really important link. I'm going to go ahead and click on it, and I'm going to hope that it takes you guys there. Hold on one moment. It might not. I might have to do a switch. Give me one moment, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you to this web page, and this was put together by the Senate. Wait, where am I? There I am. That's me. Okay. I'm gonna share with you guys. This was put together by our senators for the Small Business Association, and it's a really good question answer, which is why I really liked it. Like it was just in layman's terms, and I think Mark Rubio put it out actually. and I'm trying to find it on here. Hold on one moment. Okay. Let me try this one more time because I'm not. Let me try that one more time. I don't know why. Okay, it's okay. I will put the link to it, but it is a really simple question answer documentation, kind of like with a summary of this, okay? And I think that that's important when you can actually read something and you're not like, what is this? You know, maybe this is it. Hold on, let's try. Yes, that's it. Okay. And there it is. Like, where can I apply and who is eligible? And is this for an independent contractor, gig economy worker? Am I eligible? Yes. What's the maximum I can borrow? How can I use the money and when will it be forgiven? You know, this is awesome. Like, when is it covered? How much will be forgiven? Am I responsible for the interest on the forgiven loan amount? No. What are the interest terms? I mean, all of that is on here. And this was put out by the Senate committee. Okay. So I really like this document. I'll put the link at the end of the broadcast as well too, just so you know that you have access to that as well too. Okay. So let me just get to the very end and then we'll be able to take questions. Okay. Give me one moment. Let me make sure that I am in full screen. There you guys go. All right. So here at the very end, I put a few links for small businesses and this one. Oh, and that was it. Okay, good. I did do it right. Okay, excellent. All right. So I hope that this was helpful to you guys. I know many of you said thank you. I'm hoping that it did not go over your head. Okay. That would be something that you can go back to. Again, I know I've had this scrolling the whole time. I recommend that you go get legal advice. Call your accountant, call your attorney, call your bank and find out. I do want to share another thing that right now, because we are in a national state of emergency, you can call anyone that holds a note that you hold a note with, whether it's your mortgage, your car loan, your credit card, and ask for a forbearance. Every company is handling it differently right now, but you can ask for a forbearance. Ari, what if right now I'm not really struggling? My suggestion would be is we don't know what's coming up the pipeline. You can always just have the PPP loan sitting there. And if you don't use it, then when it's time in 6 months, you give it right back. Okay. But if you have it, God forbid anything happen, that's what it's there for. Once they hit the 349 billion, they're not going to give out any more loans. So you do want to apply on the faster end, not the slower end, for either one, whichever one you want to do. Okay. Any other questions? Just want to make sure. I know there's been really good comments. I think that some of you have been answering the questions as I've been sharing this. I hope that this is helpful to you and that you learned a lot, and feel free to share it with any small business owner, any gig economy worker, any independent contractor. And I did not even cover unemployment. Just so you know, you are eligible for unemployment as an independent contractor. I said that correct. This is unprecedented, never before in American history. As an independent contractor, you can apply for unemployment. Okay. Most unemployment sites have crashed. I woke up the other day at 4 a.m. and checked and it was up. Okay. But by 6 a.m. it had crashed. So if you want to apply for unemployment for yourself, your spouse, a friend, tell them to just do it in the middle of the night. It's probably going to go a lot better. All right. Well, thank you so much for watching, and blessings to you and prayers for you to stay safe and well, and protection for your family. Thanks so much for being on.